Zambia Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Indianapolis, and I want to thank everybody around the world, the United States of America, where we're being hosted, Zambia, our mentor, our very own Vanathan in Karma, and our very special guest, Clementina, here. And today, it's a very special day because we're going to talk about girl child empowerment. What better time and what better season than now when the waves have changed? We have the first female vice president of the United States who's a woman. What better time to talk about girl child empowerment in this space? More importantly, in the sub-Saharan, the African place, and Zambia in particular. We have Clementina right now. She is in Zambia, and she will be telling us about her own journey. And Vanathan, before I pass to you, to every one of our listeners out there who'll be listening in, please, girl child empowerment is not just about a woman or a mother. It's a global movement. There cannot be a girl child empowerment if there was not a mother, a father, and the entire world, pastors and ministers. So I want you all to listen in, to be supportive, and let's just hear what our Clementina is gonna say. But not that I'm gonna give this to you before we get back to this child. What are you expecting?
It's exciting for us to be here on this special midweek tell your truth. It's exciting. I mean, Mwanza, you mentioned the U.S. having the first female vice president. Well, we have a female vice president in Zambia too.
Yes.
Although she's not the first, but we are very proud of our VP in Zambia too, and other places where women are in leadership and all those kind of stuff. So looking forward to hear what Clementina has to say. Let's get this thing going. Let's get it going.
All right, Clementina, everybody, let me introduce this powerful young lady here, the face of girl child empowerment. I met Clementina about 2-3 years ago in one of my private group called Awaken the Giant Within that we started doing. The moment she came up with such strength, such power. She reminded me of the mini Mwanza. The time I was growing up, she was there inviting people like, guys, we need to hear this. We need to listen to this. She was bringing in people left and right. Every time we had a challenge, she was ever there. And I'm like, who's this girl? Only to find she's just a young lady and with so much zeal. Clementina, welcome to the show. We are so happy to have you on Zambia Blog Talk Radio, Speak Your Truth. And remember, this is Speak Your Truth. And we are just going to hear you speak your truth and who you are. So Clementina, I'm going to start to ask you to introduce yourself and then also just tell us where you're coming from, what gives you so much zeal and what brought you here.
Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you, sir, Mr. Nathan. I really appreciate for this opportunity. Okay, so my name is Clementina Chilebela from Lusaka, Zambia, Kafue. I'm a business lady. I sell some salaula, fish, and I'm a counselor. I'm also a nurse assistant. I'm also a community development. I'm also a project planning manager. Yes. So I just want today I just want to thank God for this opportunity you've given me, Mom, and Sir, Mr. Nathan, because, of course, as Mom has mentioned, it hasn't been easy on my side. But today, I thank God that it's after this, it's going to be easy, and someone out there is going to get one or two things and get encouraged. Okay, so as Mom has mentioned, I met her 3 years ago. That was maybe 2020. Yes, and in the same group, I say, Awaken the Giant Within You. Started working with her. I also didn't know the woman I was working with, but just know how God is connect us to right people that are going to change your life for good, and she's one of them. So the time I met Mom, I was selling salaula. Yes, I used to order salaula in town, and I used to go and sell in colleges, universities, at football house there. That was my main station where I used to take my salaula clothes. And a lot of people would support me because this one been in 2015. In 2015, I said I wasn't going to school. Since it's about speaking the truth, and I want to speak the truth about me. 2015, I wasn't going to school because my mother didn't have money to take me to school, and I had no one to help me. And so from there, people used to say a lot of things. They'll be like, this girl doesn't go to school. She's going to get married. No, maybe she's going to get pregnant. Like that. You just know how people are. By that time, I didn't know that one day I'm going to discover myself, and I'm going to know who Clementina is. And one day, I told my mom, Mom, me, since I don't go to school, I don't do anything, and I just think like maybe I should just find somebody that can help me out. And my mom was like, okay, since I'm not managing to take care of you and do everything for you, maybe somebody's going to come up who's going to help you. And I met this woman, Brenda Muntemba, may her soul rest in peace. I met her at church, started helping me when I was in grade I was in grade 6. Started helping me when I was in grade 6. Grade 7, started hearing stories about me, the stories which were not true, like people just make stories over me. And when I was in grade 7, she stopped paying my school fees. I became stuck. I didn't know where to start from. I became so discouraged, and I had no hope. I thought maybe I'm not going to go to school again in my life. After that, God made a way. I said, okay, let me find a job. And I know this, most people don't know that I've worked as a maid before. Yeah, though I know, I used to hide it mostly to my friends. I would hide, nobody knew, but I've worked before as a maid where I was working. I wanted to raise money for school. And that time, because my boss where I was working from, she wasn't that accommodating to me. So I had to stop. And I met my new friends, and these friends of mine, they were like, Clementina, you don't go to school. Okay, maybe you can come and start staying at our place. And I said, okay, let me just go. Started staying at their place. And, everyone was so good to me. They're like, okay, we're going to take care of you here. And I stayed with them for a very, very long time. After that, I wasn't going to school still. Then going to school, and I was like, okay, let me just find a job again. I start working. I take myself to school. Though the time my aunt, the late Blender, stopped paying my school fees, I was very hurt, and I was discouraged. Okay, maybe God, it's okay. Started working at a certain lodge in Emersdale, Lusaka. Then there I started working. I was now in grade 9 that time. One day, my boss, I reached at my working place, and my boss was like, Clementina, I think you're too young to work at this lodge, and I think now you just need to go. I begged. I was like, Mom, but I need to write these exams. I was in grade 9. I need to write these exams. No, we can't keep you here. No, you're still young. You're going to put me in problems. I stopped working there. I was so discouraged. I lost all hope. I felt I was alone, you know. I just said, God, you don't love me. And I said, from today onwards, I think I'm not going to pray. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to be Clementina, just like that, without a name or anything. So I stopped working there. When the time for me to write my exams came, my grade 9 exams, I couldn't write them because that time I was so disturbed such that I couldn't go and write my exams. People were encouraging me, my brothers and my sister, no, just go and write. I was like, no, it's okay, I won't write. That's how I missed that grade 9 exam. Another exam came next. Something happened again, grade 9. I failed because I wasn't much concentrating to school. I'm going to say this because I know most people, when we go out there, they think, because she can speak English, because she can do this person, she's powerful, she has done this and so forth. But for me, it was a different story, and which I don't hide it from people. I failed my grade 9 3 times because that time I wasn't putting effort to school, and I was still looking for a job, going to school. I said going for this night school where I was going, but still from work I have to go for a night school, and I was really getting tired that time. And from that time I just gave up everything. I said, now it's okay. I'm not going to do this anymore. Then later on, 2020, that's how now I met Mom. Said now asking me about my education background, what I've done, you know. And to me, that was such a blessing. Mom, thank you so much for being a blessing in my life. And yeah, indeed, my coach, my mentor, my mother. And I just thank God for you. Every time, I know I cry because
I know.
you've been a blessing to me. You've helped me so much, such that, I didn't know that one day I'll be the Clementina people know today. I didn't know that one day I'm going to be a Christian. I'm going to do everything that I've done. It's because of you, It's because of the trust you have for me. You've trusted me so much, such that even myself, I don't understand. Even my family now, they don't understand. This woman, And now I'm in Kafue. I'm also selling Salaula clothes just to, and every time I sell and have some money, I give back to the community. I also do charity work. I help out also street kids, orphans. I also go in orphanages, donate some things for them, and just try to talk to a girl child, and share everything with them, because what God has done for me, I always think I just have to share it back to the community. And 2021, I met this
Clementine,
girl.
let me ask you.
Yes,
let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
You have a powerful and interesting story to tell here. And I think, Mwansa, this is, what should I say? This is a sub-Saharan story of a girl, or most families. So how did you begin selling Salaula? Who helped you get started in there? Because you've mentioned a lot of things you are doing, counselor, project, this and that. So let's try to focus on who helped you begin the Salaula business?
Okay, I helped myself because that time before I started selling Salaula, I was working, and I used to keep up some money. Then I went to order some. I had about 500 kwacha. I went to order Salaula clothes and start selling. And every time I sell, I would have a profit of maybe 600, 700. Sometimes when business is okay, I'd sell up to 1.5 and everything. And at some point, I stopped selling because the money I had, I'd used it for something else. And now Mom came up, Mami Mwansa. That's when now she sent me money. again to start doing my business. That's how I just started doing it, modeling clothes and selling.
I want you, both you, Mwansa and Clementina. So you said you met Mwansa, was it on a platform called the Giant, Awaken the Giant in You? Is that right, Mwansa?
Awaken the Giant Within, yes.
Awaken the Giant Within. Yeah, that's one of the things that Mwansa does. For those of you who may not know, you can find it on Facebook and be part of it. Awaken the Giant Within. How did you know Clementina Mwansa? Clementina, how did you know Mwansa? How did you get to understand or to know about her story?
Okay, for me, the time, okay, somebody introduced me to her. That was Auntie Opa. Yeah, she introduced me to her. So, Clementine, I want you to, there's this woman that has this group called Ayase. I want you to join this group and start helping. It's about inviting people to like the page and everything. Oh, okay. And she said, this is the owner of the page. And me, myself, I took it up and texted mom. I introduced myself to her. And from that time, I was even selling salaula. I was like, Mom, okay. Me, I didn't know that she's in the United States. I thought she was just in Zambia. And I was like, Mom, okay, I'm selling salaula clothes and I would love you to support me. And she was like, oh, okay, so tell me more about you. I started talking from there and she was so interested in my story and everything. That's when she got my WhatsApp number and started talking. Yeah.
So me, this young girl, so we're doing a challenge. Like she said, Opa, who's one of the giants, and I believe she's even on the chat. And Clementina, the chat is blowing up here for you. And there you are a masterpiece, Clementina. I'm learning how to put comments in here, up here. I'll put the comments on. You are very inspiring and very true. But Nathan, just to answer your question, when I met this young girl, we're doing Awaken Your Giant Within. It was a New Year's challenge that me and Andrew came up. I think I've told this story at 3 a.m. I woke up with me and my ideas. I called Andrew, we have to do this. And this is after Tony Robbins, who you all know is my mentor, just said, I can teach you my things here, but God has given you your own niche, your own villages, your own tribes, that when you teach them, they'll understand you better than they can understand me. So Andrew and I picked up this and we said, let's make a challenge using the book Awaken the Giant Within, which I have somewhere among my 1,000 books here. And I was inviting people. We were doing challenges. If you win, you get books, you get different stuff, because we wanted also to build up a community of readers and reading community and also building mentors. And this young girl came there. She was just like inviting people left, right, and center. And not only was she inviting people, right? She was very dedicated to every challenge that we did.
That's good.
Her, Elias, Fletcher, Opa, Macy, these people were relentless, like relentless in the challenges that we put in. Sometimes I'll put in a challenge like no excuse or no procrastination. You have to drink so much water for 30 days. They were in need. We have to walk so much, because it's about spiritual, mental, and physical for you to be in your best place to do self-development. You can't do it when you are not in it. She was doing it all. And I brought up something to say, let's feed our kids. Oprah, Clementina get $50. They went and fed street kids. And I'll just share some pictures of what this young girl does here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she goes.
So where is this, Clementina? What's going on here?
Okay, so this was on my birthday where I went to at the Fountain of Hope Orphanage. I went to share some foodstuffs and just some few words with the girls and the guys.
Fountain of Hope, is this the kids whose parents are in jail? No. It's not. It's different.
Right.
No, okay, it's different. Okay, there's another picture, Monsa, that we need to look at.
Yes.
Yeah, and
This
here,
picture is very special because this picture, I remember this Clementina calling me mom. There's this young child. She has kwashoko and there's nobody to help her. And is there a way I can do it? And then I just told them, like, Clementina, you know how to help people. So you go do it. Because as one of the people says, the Red Sea was only parted once. So I know she has the power to do. She can't just be coming to say, mom, mom, mom. And she went and did help these people. Clementina, tell us about this person, please.
Okay.
This
So
young.
this girl, uh, she's from Chipata Overspill. That's where I met her. And she had kwashoka. So the time I met her, I didn't find the mother home. I didn't find anyone. She was just there with the brother and these my young sisters of
And how
hers.
old is she?
She's 4 years old. She was 4 years this time, yeah.
which one is
By
she
now she
in
made
this
this.
picture? Which one is she in this picture?
The one with the gray top
Like
on
bluish
the
gray.
middle.
Okay,
Yeah.
in the middle. All right, in the middle of everybody. All right.
Yes, yes, yes. So I asked one of the landlords, like, what's this, the mother of this child? And we're like, this child, she's always alone like this. The mother drinks beer and the mom makes this girl to smoke. And and that time I was very, very much touched. And I was like, God, how am I going to help this child? I don't have enough with me. Because the time I told Mami Mwanza, she said, no, Clementina, go ahead and do it. And I was like, and how am I going to do it, God? How am I going to help this child? And at some point, I met the mom and started now helping her through. And I took her to the hospital. I was once working at UTH as a counselor there. I took her there and they did everything for her. And now the mom had to take the child to the village. That's how I lost. That's how I lost my child. Yeah. But of late, I've been talking to the mother. She was like, no, she's going to be back anytime soon because I didn't take care of her here. So I decided just to take her to the village and stay with the grandmother. But now she's okay.
Okay.
So can
You
I
have
say
another picture to show, Monsa.
yeah, can I just say something to
Okay.
that? To every youth listening in, and to every mother, to every father, to every brother, to every grandparent listening in. To start your dreams, you don't have to have something big. Clementina started with Salaula, with one child. She goes to these places. I've heard about young girls who say, I want to save the world. How are you going to save the world if you haven't even fed one child? Clementina, with nothing, she was able to start feeding this child, getting her to the clinic, while not even knowing what to do or feed herself with, and her business was actually down at that moment. So I'm saying this to say, never miss out on an opportunity to save. Because saving is the greatest thing that you do, and it will open up doors for you, even if at that moment it does not make sense. But Nathan, let me just give a quick story about a girl child empowerment. People ask me once, how were you empowered? How did you? I mean, from the young age, my mom really just believed in me. I'm one person who go and start girls' brigade and get everybody in the family. But I remember there was a time that's really stand vivid to me when my dad had passed away. I was with Grace Ministries. My mom used to make sure we're all dressed nicely, even if we were five of us, we didn't have any help. But the clothes should make 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'll be like, Mom, can I have another pair of? Mom, I just made you some nice suits. I'm like, I gave them a change. She would not complain. She would just go buy me and make some. And I knew she didn't have money. And then there were pastors who were young pastors in our church by then. They didn't have money. They wanted to go to college, and they were in Bible college, and they'll come and they didn't have any, like they couldn't continue school. Guess what? I'll just bring them to mom. I say, Mom, this pastor doesn't have money, and can you send money to go? And she'll be looking at me like, but she wouldn't complain. And she'll send pastors. And there she empowered me. She empowered me to give. And that's also a part of Girl Child. Whether she was knowing what she was doing then or she was just indulging me, but she empowered me to believe that no matter what you're going through, all things are possible. So to say that, I share that to say, mothers, even with every little thing you have, like for me, I was just a nuisance to mom. I don't know how many clothes she has to get for me because every month I'll give to the church.
You were giving away.
And this is the way Clementina is. And but Nathan, like I said, look at this young girl. She says, Mom, if I have to make it, I'll go and do fish. She goes to Kafue in a long place to buy fish and sell it. Clementina, tell us about your fish.
So it
I think Vanathan there, we just lost Clementina a bit. When she comes up, meanwhile, let me read some.
Yeah, please, let's read some comments from, like you said, a lot of people have tuned in and they're excited to see their friend hustling and.
Yes. So I will read the.
where?
Let me just take out the
Clementina is back.
Clementina, are you back?
Yes.
Okay. So Clementina, tell us about that fish, and then we'll read some comments.
Okay. So now one of my friends came and told me, Clementina, do you know that there's much money in selling fish? I was like, no, I don't know. Tell me more. So she started telling me, she's like, no, you know what? Let's start ordering fish. There's this place in Chanyanya where we can order fish and sell. I've got nice bean fishes. I'm like, okay, let's start. That's why I started going there, getting fish. Maybe for 500, I'd get maybe 10 kg, 1,000.
What's happening, Clementina?
All right.
Okay, while she's getting situated, let's try to read some comments from the people watching.
Okay, so we have a lot of comments around here from everybody. It's a lot, so I'm just gonna go and see what we can go. It's good to have you guys. And from
Songo Elias, thank you.
From Fletcher, good to see you. Yes.
Fletcher.
And then we have a lot of Fletcher, guy. Hey Fletcher, we're loving you. And from Vinny Mandro watching live from Lusaka, Zambia. Oh, we even have watching from Texas.
Hi, Uncle Derek.
Thank you, Uncle Derek. Who we have a lot of people. We have a lot of comments. I haven't even. I love this. Say Clementina is a machine. Yes, Fletcher. Yeah. We know that she's a machine. Clementina, she's a machine.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Yes. And like when Clementina is saying she'll sell it, we remember, like Fletcher says, I remember Clementina, the days you're selling Salaula as Miss Hill and everybody. And then we have Bachelet here from Lusaka. And we have a lot of people following here. I want to read, we have this from Natasha Mlenga. Let me see what Natasha says. Chile, we're following the stories. Natasha Nations, I'm watching. Thank you. Then we have Clementina. Your story is very touching. Sorry, God loves you, Clementina. Fletcher is just rooting for you here.
Now,
Yeah,
Martha, there's something that when you listen to Clementina's story, there is something that strikes you. Clementina, you said you are a counselor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Tell us in which so from selling Salaula, you are a businesswoman, you do all these things. How did the idea of you standing as a counselor, what motivated you to do that? And tell us where you are serving as a counselor.
Okay, so the time I was selling Salaula, and I was also thinking about going back to school. I was like, okay, maybe if I make a lot of money, I'm just going to go back to school and do this, you know. So one day I saw an advertisement on Facebook for this college. I don't know if you know Madam Tumelo, the Honorable Tumelo. She's the one that posted an advert. Like this school, Mkopa Belt Institute School. Yes. Yeah. So she was like, okay, people can enroll for this, for the counseling classes and everything. So I texted her on Facebook and she gave me the number to say, okay, maybe you can use this number. And I became just interested. Okay, actually, I was just trying. Okay, let me try on this. Maybe it's going to work out because I feel I've got that passion of of teaching and talking to people. So, okay, let me just try out this. That's when I tried doing counseling. It was for 6 months, yeah, an advanced certificate. And from there, I went to work at the UTH. That's where I was doing my attachment for a year plus. And from there again, mom now said, Clementina, I want you to do a lot of things. Like, I just don't want you to do this thing and stop there. No, I also want you to do something else. Again, I enrolled for community development studies. I said, okay, let me also try this. It was also an advanced certificate. Let me try this. I tried and it was so amazing because me, myself, I love charity work, I love helping out the community like that. So from there, mommy helped me with the school fees and everything. Then after that, again, I became interested now with school very, very much. I just wanted to be going to school like that. Also now I went to do project planning management. It was also amazing. I did it for about 8 to 10 months. Yeah. And from there, that was now.
From there, sorry, Clementina, you also went back to rewrite some.
Yes.
Can you talk
my
about that? Yes.
Okay, so yes, after that now, because I didn't do well in my grade 12, so I was like, now let me just go and write the subjects which I never did well. And that was now GCE. Yeah, I did GCE. And let me say this. Before I went, like my grade 12, I never even wore my uniform. Nobody saw me in a uniform, like going to school, being a grade 12 now. Like most of the times I would just go, I enrolled for a night school because, sometimes I would feel bad because my friends, those that I was with, they're ahead of me. And now every time you meet them, they'll start asking you questions like, Clementina, what are you doing now? You did your grade 12 and what, So to me, sometimes I'd feel embarrassed. I'd like, no, I'm just going to enroll for a night school. And I was just going for a night school. And the time I met Fletcher, yes, Fletcher is is a very great person, and he's one of them that has also pushed me harder, like to be this Clementina. So, like Fletcher would tell me that time. Fletcher would tell me, Clementina, you know what? You're still young. You can do this. Okay, I'll be helping you with some things, those things that you don't know, I'll be helping you. The subject that are so that you're not doing well in, I can also help you. Like, okay, let me just start going to school, And in that group where for Ayase, Fred is the only one that used to know more things about me. And at least I would tell, because that time I'd found a friend. I was like, okay, I think I can share more with this person because his wisdom, I also don't understand. Is that so much intelligent, So now, Fred, I was like, okay, no, I'll be helping you, Clementina. That's when I went back to school, started doing my night school until time to write the exams came. Mom paid for everything. I went to write my exams.
Wow.
And again, 2, I didn't do well. And which I want to write again this year.
Now, I want you to speak about your being a counselor. Let's go back to that. You see how the story builds up. Somebody who's completely written off by society ends up where Clementina is. Powerful stuff, Clementina. So how did you get interested in public office or serving as a counselor? How did that start?
Okay, so I'm going to share this. There's this time at church, I was given an opportunity to preach in church.
Oh, wow.
So, yes. I was given an opportunity to preach in church. Yeah, by my friends and my spiritual father, Bishop Ron Kapwasha. So that time I was like, I was really scared. I was like, how am I going to do this? And now, the time I decided that, okay, I think I'm a public speaker, though not that much, I think I can do this. Let me just try it out to be a counselor and see how I'm going to do best. And to my surprise, I would every day I would encounter a lot of cases, development, words, every time, couple counseling. And every time, even people, when they come for counseling, couple counseling, big people, they would sit there and listen to me, and I would be like, me, these big people listening to me, like, okay, let me just try in this and see best how I'm going to do it. And I just found out that I think I'm the best counselor in this world, and that I always appreciate myself. Yeah, and that has really built me, because every time people, they say, Clementina, you like talking too much because uh, for me personally, I don't have a lot of friends, but whoever I meet, I know most of my friends that are watching, they can testify. I like talking to them. I'll be like encouraging them every time. Now I cancel, what, And I think I just love this job of being a counselor. And I just wish somebody out there can employ me and be a full-time counselor. That's my yeah.
Excellent. Wow. That's amazing, Mwansa. That's amazing. Yeah.
You know
Wow.
what?
Exciting.
But Nathan, this is what about girl child. Imagine, I'm trying to think, imagine if Clementina had even more resources than just her trying to get herself to school in grade 7, working at grade 9. Imagine if she just had maybe one more person just try to help her and take her in and say, go to school. 2 more people, not even help her, but buy her school page so she didn't have to. Imagine these are the people that should be standing in UN, United Nations today. And the reason we say this girl child empowerment, it's important that we be deliberate and we be very intentional about supporting our girl child. Let's just sit, talk to them. How are you doing today? You guys, you have heard Clementina. And she's going to do many things. There's sometimes she tells me, Mom, I'm like, Clementina, you've got all the resources. You've got knowledge now, self-development, and all this. But also, people listening, you are in Zambia, you were. Buy her fish. Tell her to bring you her salaula. This is the way she puts up things. She does a lot of, she would put up very nice clothes. She will get them nice to you, and she's got quality. When I say Clementina's got nice class, she is classic. She's classic. Support a girl child by saying, "Can we buy your, or can we buy you a ballon for that matter, right? So that you go and sell. Can you bring us fish?
Yes.
She's not a lazy child. Can you bring us fish? We'll buy you fish. We're in
Yep.
banks, bring you mocha." That's how you support one child at a time. We have this thing. My vision is one mindset at a time, building one mindset at a time, one country at a time, one continent at a time, but at the very same time, bringing them in front of resources so that resources can support, because we can't do this by ourselves. And we give them visibility, we give them collaboration. And look at Clementina being taught, having been taught, she's teaching. So
Yes.
we are here mentoring. Do not ever give up on the power of mentorship, because where I can't reach, Clementina goes. We went and fed street kids. I was not there, I was just in the background. They did it. Those street kids, Clementina, what was the most thing that they were crying about that they wanted?
I wanted shoes, clothes, and food.
And mostly school, to go to school. You remember the videos?
School, yeah.
Yeah.
The one,
Yes, ma'am.
the one.
Bring those videos and pictures. We need to show them on one of the shows here. Okay.
Yes.
When you fed the street kids,
Okay.
that's what this is about. Yeah. Bring those. And we need to
Okay.
do that. Wow, amazing. This is amazing. Wow. Speak your truth, host and founder, MPG people.
Let's read some few comments here
As we wind up, right?
and then we wind up. And thank you everybody. Clementina, there's so much support here, and you can read on. I won't go through everything, but we still have women with a nurturing heart. Thanks, Monsa, for the opportunity. This is from Milika Mondila. Thank you, Milika. And Milika also says, Clementina is a passion-driven community saver. Bravo, make Zambia proud.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, here you already have a customer here, Clementina. I want some fish for 500 kwacha. You see? Hey, already
So
customers.
get in touch with find Vakathy and
Yes.
let that transaction take place. There we
Please. You see, that's what we do here. We are we are connectors, and
yes.
And thank you so much. And Elias says, Clementina, you are so determined. And there's so many comments here. I can't finish because we're about to wrap up. Clementina, what can you say to everybody that is every girl child here? What can you tell them?
Okay. So I would just love to encourage one person out there. You know what? Every time you may think life, as myself, people have mocked me, of course, like my own stepfather would say, she's going to be a fool, she's going to be a prostitute, she's going to do this and that, But, God never fails. God is always there for us. Every time you think you're nobody, somebody tells you you're nobody, you're not going anywhere, just look up to the cross and say, God, I'm going to be somebody, and nobody is going to bring me down if they think I'm going to be that useless person, they think, God, show them that truly you're there for me and you're going to make me a star to people as God has done for me today. And to my fellow youths, it's not always about maybe you go out there finding men to help you, but you can also work hard. You can also hard, you can just move around, look for a job, There are people out there that helps, As for me, the way I met mom here, she helped me, and that was the best thing that, I was waiting for. And I also have my mother, my beautiful mother, Betty Banda. She's so amazing. I don't know if she's watching, she's so amazing. And Mr. Nathan, I'd really love you to meet this woman. I'm telling you, I'd really love you to
we
meet
need to
this
bring her
woman.
on here. We need to bring her
We
on
have
here.
to
Yes.
bring her here.
Thank you,
So,
Clementina.
guys,
Powerful.
Thank you, Clementina. Thank you, Nathan. Guys, we're about to wrap up. Do please be sure to go to Zambia Blog Talk Radio. Let me put that here. And go subscribe and like us, please. And please invite all your friends. There is so much power, there's so much resources, and there is so much hope here. Be in a place of encouragement and self-development, and you'll be sure you'll find it on Zambia Blog Talk Radio and Speak Your Truth. So make sure you subscribe. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for all your comments. We appreciate that, and we love everything that you do. Clementina, you're amazing. Nathan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you and stay blessed, everybody. That's the Girl Child Empowerment. Make sure you support this girl, everybody out there. Thank you.
Zambia Blog Talk Radio.